back with us today. He's been with us once before. Welcome, Scott. Okay, so a man and an ostrich walk into a restaurant. They order their meal. Check comes. The man reaches in his pocket, doesn't even look, puts the money down. They walk out. A couple of days later, they walk into the same restaurant. They order their meal, get their check, puts his hand in his pocket, doesn't even look, walks out. Well, the third time this happens, the server at the table had to ask, it's like, what is up with this? You don't even look at the bill. You just don't even look at how much money you put out there. It's just there, and thank you in advance for those gracious tips. He's like, well, you know, I was cleaning the attic out, and I found this lantern. And I was brushing it, and a genie came out. And the genie said, you only get 2 wishes, because, you know, inflation and all, you get 2. So he said, so I thought about it, and I thought about it, and I got really clear. And I said, I always want to be able to reach into my pocket and have exactly what I need for what I want. And she's like, that's brilliant, right? You could buy a Mercedes. You could buy a yacht. You could buy anything you wanted. And it's just there. He's like, I know, it's brilliant. She's like, okay, so what about the ostrich? He's like, well, you know, sometimes you let those old beliefs come into play, and I just off the top of my head said, you know, I've always wanted a hot chick with long legs. And that's kind of what we're looking at this month, right? We're looking at that idea of taking that moment and getting really clear, right, on what we want, about checking in with ourselves before we just let something come off the top of our head. And we're stuck with an ostrich for the rest of our life. And Ernest Holmes, in the textbook, wrote, the foundation of all ages has stood in awe of life itself, realizing that there is a power and potentiality, the highest possibilities of which the human intellect cannot fathom. And Holmes is right. We probably can't fathom it, right? We can dream our dreams, but then they become really big dreams, and we're like, yeah, I'm just me. But this month, as Jeff shared, we're going to tap into that innate power within. And we're going to prove to ourselves what we really can do. It's been said, if you reach for the stars, you don't have time to play in the mud. So we're going to stop playing in the mud, and we're going to start reaching. So right now, I want to ask you a favor. I'd like you to check in with yourself. Just check in. If there was one area of your life, just one area of your life, that you would like to have more clarity, more fulfillment, more realization that it is your truth, more manifestation in that one area, what would it be? Just one area. Got one? Because that's the area we're going to focus on. I want all of us to focus on this month. That area where we know that there's more. If we would just align ourselves with Spirit and let ourselves be directed and guided and supported in all ways. Because we've got that spiritual partner, that universal knower, that divine creative energy just saying, yes, my beloved. This month, we're going to listen to that, yes, my beloved, and make our declarations. Holmes also stated that he would rather see a person use this teaching than spend time reading books, discussing, theorizing, and gaining greater knowledge. Because without putting our spiritual tools to work, we are not showing the world what we can accomplish. We are not sharing our innate goodness to the greatest degree possible. See, this teaching for me all boils down to a couple of things. It's about being really clear on who and whose we are. The divine expression of that one, made in the image and likeness of it, allowing it to experience its creation as we experience our life. It's about staying spiritually aligned with that truth no matter what, and then authentically moving forward in that direction that is who we are here to be. So, I don't think they have PE classes anymore, but who remembers physical education classes, right? I mean, what a great class, because it really didn't matter who you were, right? You got points just for suiting up, right? And all you had to do was show up willing to participate, and you always got to participate. You may have been the last one called. Yeah, a few times. But let's face it, it was such a level playing field. And that's what, to me, personal empowerment is. It's a level playing field. We're all playing on it. It's about how do we tap into it to a greater degree, to use it in our best interest, and provide demonstrations and manifestations faster, quicker, simpler, to live that life that just knows that all is well and all will be well, no matter appearances. The master teacher, Jesus, said, I of myself can do nothing. It is the Father that does the work. It is the one that does the work always on the outside. It is us who do the work on the inside. The I am that I am. It is that is within us. That is our empowerment. And that's why it's personal. We all have it, but it's personal to each and every one of us. There was a woman back in the 40s and 50s, Guinevere Barad, and I'm sure I've butchered her last name. But she was the only student that Thomas Troward ever had. The only one. And she was his student because she was really clear that she had to learn directly from him. And she pestered the heck out of him across multiple continents to become his student. And she wrote this book, Your Invisible Power. It's a fabulous book. And it talks a lot about visualization. We did a little workshop last month about visualization. The handout is still on our website. So check in there if you're looking for more clarity on the whole thing. But she also included some additional information, and she said some profound things, and I want to share two of these things with you. She wrote, before you can entertain the idea of making a mental picture of your desire as being at all practical, you must have some idea of your being, of your I am. And just as soon as you are conscious of your I amness, you begin to enjoy the freedom which this consciousness allows. You want to do more, to be more, and as you fulfill this desire within you, localized spirit begins conscious activities within you. You don't begin them. Spirit begins them, because now those dreams are no longer, oh my gosh, that's just beyond. No, it's personal. It's like here. She goes on to write that as you grow in understanding as to who you are, where you came from, what the purpose of your being is, and how you are to fulfill the purpose of which you are intended, you will become more and more perfect. You will become the perfect center through which the creative spirit of life can enjoy itself to the highest. I cannot be the only one in this room who is like saying, yes, I want Spirit to celebrate itself to the highest degree possible in me, through me, and as me, right? And it all boils down to getting clear on our authentic selves and being in spiritual alignment. It's about suiting up. It's about showing up. And it's about being willing to be our personal best, our authentic selves. In short, it's all about that divine partnership. So, PE class, one requirement, you got points. In my class, in my school anyway, you got points just for putting on the shorts and the t-shirt, man. That was it. You just had to, like, suit up. And in this teaching, suiting up to me means getting prayed up, getting spiritually aligned with it, with the inner it. It's about taking time, getting still, and opening up our inner ears as we meditate. It's about getting clear and doing our spiritual mind treatment, our prayer work. Letting the universe know this is who I am and this is what I desire. Not what I want, it is what I desire. And then joyously celebrating with praise and thanksgiving as we take our authentic, kind, loving, divine expressions of it out into the world. Being open, being willing, and being ready to see things differently, including those old beliefs. Anyone have any old beliefs they're ready to get rid of? Those things that are no longer serving you? I once heard a minister give an example of old beliefs. And she's like, let's say you were taught that 4 + 4 = 9. And you knew it. Like, you knew the right answer. 4 + 4 is 9. And no matter what anybody said to you, you knew the answer was 9. Other people may think it's 8. That's their problem, not mine. It's 9. So no matter what one does, it's always going to be 9. Until we're willing to release the idea that maybe I was taught it was 9. But in fact, it's really 8. That is simplistic, but that's the kind of impact old beliefs can have on us. It could really be that simple. And as we are willing to let go of them, as we are willing to stop playing in the mud of those old ideas, we begin to be in spiritual alignment because we're no longer serving two masters. This is what I know, this is what I've been taught, and this is what I know is my truth. Whatever is not supporting your truth, your ability to be authentic, to be all you're here to be, it's an old belief and it no longer serves you. It's time for it to go away. And it's time for you to replace it with the truth. I'm going to give you a few personal beliefs that I have turned around. First off, God is not an angry old man up there somewhere. No. But it is a loving, creative energy that is just saying yes. My opinion matters, not as much, but more than anyone else's when it comes to me. Taking care of myself is important, and I need to do it first before I can take care of anyone else. And that includes saying no sometimes. More times than not anymore. No one is in control of my happiness but me. Me. And my happiness is not dependent on any out there anything. And finally, not only is there nothing wrong with me, there is nothing that I lack to accomplish what I want to accomplish. there is no lack. From that place, do you see how changing those old beliefs can open you up to a greater expression of you? To be more willing to do the inner work, to align with that one, which takes us to that place of showing up. Because when we show up from a higher level of awareness, when we show up with our vibration up here saying, yeah, life, let's do it. Let's get it going. Versus, okay, well, what's going to happen now? Do you see the delta when we show up and we really, really show up? But it takes more than a spiritual practice, right? It takes the ability for one to take time in the middle of the day to remember one's truth. It takes a willingness to take a moment when something not so great is in front of us, to take a breath and remember our truth before we react in a way that is not in alignment with who we are. It's about not only remembering our truth, but remembering the truth of others. Because maybe they're not out to get us. Maybe they're not judging us. Maybe they too are divine expressions of the One. That is how we stay in the flow and in alignment. That is how we participate at that higher level so we can do our best in all ways. You know, when we are in a spiritual alignment, doing our best not only serves us, but it serves the planet. It serves all of those around us. We can tap into our inner guidance system. We can get those nudges and pay attention to them. We become conscious co-creators of our life, feeding that good mojo into that universal soup of consciousness. When we're in spiritual alignment, and we've all had days and maybe even weeks of this, when you're just in the flow, like everything just seems to be going your way. Like synchronicity is everywhere. That is when we are spiritually aligned. When we are authentically expressing who we are by knowing whose we are. We are in divine partnership with the One. When we open ourselves up to knowing that peace and harmony is right here despite our outer crap, crazy whatever is happening, when we remember that there's a peace within us that has never, ever been disturbed. And it's our own personal peace. Then we can be in harmony. We can allow love and compassion to rule us. Imagine that life. Imagine that day when you wake up and you know it's a brand new day. And I get to have that kind of day that allows the universe to just say, yes, baby, yes. Think about that. When we are in spiritual alignment, that is when we truly are in that zone of personal empowerment, where nothing or no one can shake us, because we are on holy ground, right where we are, showing up as our true selves. So, anybody willing to play this month? To take that one area of your life and allow that spiritual alignment, that personal empowerment to just sort of drive it forward? Not relying on our humanness, but relying on our spiritualness, on the I am that I am, to consciously know the truth. Because that's the assignment this week. That's the assignment for the month. take that area. Let's spend time with it. Let's court the divine essence in it. Let's name it and declare it. I, right here and right now, am ready for that idea of health to take on a greater expression in my world. What about you? It's about being clear. Clear on what we want. I'm going to close with Joseph Murphy because, I don't know, he's just sort of singing to me this week. Embrace your birthright of personal empowerment and embark on a journey of self-discovery, self-mastery, and self-realization. With every step you take, with every choice you make, remember that you are your own vessel of infinite potentiality. You are here to shine brightly. You are here to inspire others. You are here to leave a lasting legacy of love, of truth, and of peace. That's our truth, and so it is. Namaste.